So, fingers crossed, I'm coming through live on Instagram and on Facebook. So, do say hello if you are with me here live, or if you're catching the replay, do drop me a hello in the comments. So, today in June, we are beginning our back care series. So, this is for you if you perhaps suffer with achy, painful back. So, we're talking about general aches and pains, we're not talking about slip discs or any other kind of spine conditions. So, of course, I'm not a GP, I'm not a physio. I'm sharing with you today what I've learned through yoga trainings and also what has really helped me, because I often suffer with a really achy lower back, and this is the most common thing that I see when people show up at my yoga classes when they fill in that health questionnaire at the beginning, is that they have back aches and pains, and it's usually in the lower back as well. So this might be caused through a number of things. It might be poor posture, it might be an unsupported seat, it might be bending down without bending into the knees, for example. And often when we're doing movements in the back on a regular basis, then that can lead to a strain in the muscles. So it's really great to be mindful of the posture and how we're moving about day to day, and to understand a little bit more about how the spine and how the back actually works. So we all know we've got a spine, that central column that runs up through our bodies and through the back. So without this, our upper body would just be a bit of a flop on the floor with our organs. So it's this structure that's holding us up. And the spine is made up of three key areas. We've got the lumbar spine at the bottom, we've got the thoracic spine in the centre, and we've got the cervical spine up towards the neck. Okay, so the lumbar spine, this is really quite solid. For some people, they have a little bit of movement in it, but it's great to give that structure that we need to help support the organs as well. If we think about the thoracic spine, it's linking also with our rib cage. So there is some movement, but ultimately it needs to be nice and stable and supportive for our lungs. Then as we move up into the cervical spine, we've got a bit more movement, like when we look when we're driving and we want to see if there's anything coming, we can turn the head and look to one side or look slightly behind. So it's nice to be mindful of these different areas of the spine and the movements that they like, and respecting those. So today we're focusing on two key movements, and this is moving forwards and moving backwards with the spine. Moving forwards, one range of movement, and moving backwards is the second range of movement. Okay, and this is really nice, particularly for the lower back, to allow it to move in its favourite way that it likes. So there's many different poses that we can do, such as forward folds, to stretch out the back as we reach forwards. So as we're reaching forwards, we are stretching and lengthening the muscles in the back and into the backs of the legs. Similarly, when we lean back, doing things like back bends, the bridge, and we're stretching out the front of the body, and we're engaging the muscles in the back. Okay, so what's really wonderful is a key warm-up pose that you will find in virtually any yoga class, which is the cat and cow movement. So two separate poses, but generally they come together, and you'll see why they are called cat and cow in a moment as we pop onto the mat or onto your floor and give those a try together. So you'll notice I'm in some joggers, I'm in a t-shirt. This is what I wore for walking the dog earlier. So you don't necessarily have to be in a full yoga kit or anything like that. Let's make it as accessible as possible. As long as you're in some kind of clothing that allows you to move, that's not too tight, then you can certainly hop down onto your floor now and give this a try. If you've got hard flooring, then do at least bring a blanket or a towel or something to at least protect the knees as we do this pose. Of course, if you've got a mat, great, but not essential. So let's have a look at this cat and cow. We want to come onto all fours. So we're on all fours and we've got the fingers open wide, but they're not straining. They are slightly inwards, but this just creates a bigger base than when the fingers are together. So we place the hands down onto the mat and the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Have a check-in with your knees. Knees are hip width apart. Why is my phone turned off? Okay, so from here, coming into our cow pose. So if we imagine a cow has got a low belly, where it has its udders hanging down. So we're going to create this low belly effect. So as we inhale, we lower through the belly and we lift up the base of the spine and we lift up the head. Notice how by pressing the base of the spine up towards the ceiling, we arch in the lower back. We're getting that arch all the way through the spine and the crown of the head gently lifts. Notice if you're pressing into the wrists, can you press down through the hands and the fingertips also? So this is a gentle back bend, stretching out the front of the body whilst lightly engaging the back muscles. Now we're going to do the opposite, which is our cat pose. So we exhale and round through the back, pressing the upper back towards the ceiling. And we tuck the pelvis under and we tuck the chin under also. So eyes could look towards the legs. And feel here a nice opening, a stretching through the back. And here we are contracting the muscles in the front of the torso. So doing a few of these, moving with the breath. As you inhale, lower through the belly, gently lift the head and the base of the spine. Exhale, round through the back, tuck the chin and the pelvis under. Inhale as you lower the belly. Exhale, round through the back. Inhale as you lower. Exhale as you round. Continue this movement at your own pace, moving with your breath. As you continue, bring your focus to the spine. Notice how each vertebra moves as we change from our cow pose with the belly lowered to the cat pose as we round in the back. Feel the vertebra move through the spine. Or perhaps we can't feel it, but imagine it. Notice the back, the spine moving. Let's take one more. Inhale as you lower. And exhale as you round. And come to a flat back like a tabletop. And walk the hands in and bring the hips down as we make our way to be seated. And if you found this a little bit achy in the wrists, you could warm up the wrists first by doing some circular movements, nice and gentle. Might feel good to do that now as well, to ease through the wrists. And if it still feels a bit much with the wrists and you want to practice this again, then you could bring the hands into fists, and we bring the fists to the mat. So we're keeping the wrist and the hand in a straight line there, rather than bending at the wrist with this option. Okay, so this is a great pose, or great two poses to do any time. And we're getting the back bend motion, and we're getting the forward bend motion, the extension and the flexion in the spine, creating a really beautiful stretch all the way through the back, particularly in the lower back, where it might help to ease a bit of tightness, a bit of tension. So I hope that that has been informative and helpful for you. Next week, we're going to look at 2 more key movements of the spine, and then we'll finish off with the final 2 the week after. So hope to see you next Thursday. Drop me a comment if you found this helpful. If you enjoyed it, do share it with any friends. And I will also pop into the comments the link for my latest podcast episode that was out today, which is all about back care. So do check that out. I think it's about 25 minutes long, so you can listen to it whilst cooking dinner, perhaps on a drive in the car. Some people listen to it in the bath, anywhere, anytime that is convenient. So wishing you a lovely rest of your afternoon. Thank you for joining me live or for catching the replay, and I will see you soon. That hasn't worked, has it?